needs you to do
Well.
that forever. Oh,
within the cable company. Ow. That's what I would do during the Comcast. Oh, you want another cable company?
oh my gosh. Well, hello everybody.
No.
This is our official stream. As you can see, we have one of our Critgamer admins who's doing a little Comcast dance for you. Just kind of showing you how the internet service providers kind of get themselves going.
You started it at the worst possible time. Come on.
Oh, you know it. It is perfectly fine. Everybody loves you for it. So, welcome everyone to our stream, which is now. Alright, well welcome everybody to our Critgamer tech stream. This is for December 17th, 2015. How are y'all feeling? Are y'all getting in the holiday spirit? do you just feel the tech deals flowing through the Christmas air?
There's so much techage right now.
So much tech. So much. But yeah, so we're excited for everyone who's here. Welcome. Y'all get some extra kudo points for hanging out with us, so we appreciate it. And we're gonna get into the news. Get into the news. Because I can't speak. So I'm getting pretty excited about CES coming up, and BenQ looks like they've already got a head start on showing off some teasers of some monitors they're going to be showing off at CES. So one of them that we saw was it was the VZ2470H. I know that name just makes you like go.
That just really gets
monitors.
Me going,
yes.
Oh yeah, give me that
yes. And so they've got some interesting monitor lineups coming up. They've got a 1080p monitor that's got a 4 millisecond GTG response. And I believe that they're going to be using FreeSync on that and adaptive sync, so it's pretty sweet. They've also got another one that is going to be a 35-inch 2560 by 1080 monitor that's curved. Holy crap. And it's 144 hertz. So that's amazing.
How do y'all feel about the curved monitor? I mean,
I'm totally fine with it. I think it's going to be good.
I don't like it. I'm a big person for standardization of resolutions. And this just blows that out of the water. I understand the benefit of it, but it just really destroys everything that I think the market's been really trying to do.
He's so
if you
sad.
I mean, I am, because like a buddy of mine, he goes, man, when you just sit down and look at a curved monitor, you just don't want to go back. And I've sat down and looked at a curved monitor, and I'm like, I don't really like this. I like the idea of having two separate displays, two separate work environments, rather than having a huge, giant, one curved environment. I don't know. It looks neat, but it's the functionality of it, I think, is bleh.
I mean, I like big monitors. I've got a 27-inch monitor, and it's nice, but I mean, I understand needing multiple monitors. I don't understand the advantage of what am I gaining from a curved monitor? I mean,
well, if y'all look at the picture here, I think this is geared more towards like if you've got like quad 980 Ti's, and what's cool about the curve is that whenever the bezels touch, it almost gives you like a surround experience without having to like break the immersion. So because they're curved at the right angle, it's almost like they're one monitor flowing around.
You got monitors now though that have like what 2-3 millimeter bezels on them.
Yeah, some of the new AOC monitors are just ridiculously thin. I wish that Dell would allow people to like remove the bezels. I wish that the bezels themselves were not one piece. I wish that they were detachable, and maybe you could actually use it as a connecting piece. I think that would be a great.
Well, they're pushing in their laptops there. It's the Infinity Edge screens,
right,
where there's almost no bezels. So I mean, we can't be far from getting that on the on desktops. I mean, Dell should have something. They do. They make amazing, amazing monitors. I can't see them waiting much longer to hold out on their monitor. I don't see the use of a curved monitor. You know, maybe in a living room where you've got a large area that you're trying to cover and you want to spread people out. But on my desktop monitor, I can't even think of a reason why I would need a curved monitor.
And I guess too, it's just they're kind of flexing their, like, look what we can do arm type of thing. And also too, just it's something that is maybe something that a user might like. I mean, I know y'all both don't care for it, but there may be someone out there who's looking for a monitor just because it's a thing that you can get. So I think it's just another, like, a marketing ploy. But if
at the price of the curved monitors, why not go with a higher def monitor? You know, your 1440p's, or even, you know, spend the real money and get a 4K monitor. You're gonna get a better screen.
Right. Now this is what, you know, BenQ is about, because the next one is a 2560 by 1440p with 144 refresh, and it's not curved. So I mean, this I think pertains to a lot of video production and video editing. The curved monitors are nice. So, I mean, it's not for gaming. I mean, it is for gaming, but I honestly think it's more of a production thing. So that's probably why we don't care for it, because we don't do a lot of video production. I mean, hopefully in the future we do, and maybe we'll change our tune and be like, we love curved monitors. They're great for video production. But for now, we don't really do a lot of that. And so BenQ kind of speaks to all different types of things. I mean, they've got everywhere from the 1080p consumer.
They've got their Apple monitor.
Yeah. All the way down to their gaming-esque, you know, red and black scheme. Because, I mean, anything gaming nowadays is red and black.
Their
I mean,
MSI ROG wannabe, got it.
Right. So, I mean, MSI ROG, Asus ROG.
Is it Asus ROG?
Oh, come on now. You know your brands. But yeah, so this is interesting. I think if you're in the market for a monitor, I would wait for 2016, because the prices are going to be more competitive. You're going to get more choice, especially after CES and they start shipping stuff. So I would hold off. I mean, if you've got a 1080p panel that has like a, you know, 10 millisecond ping or whatever, just hold on to it. Hold on. The monitor technology is coming up, and your current graphics card, if you're like a 970 user or a 380X or a 290X user, it's going to get better without you having to change anything other than the monitor. So just hold on to it, and we'll see what happens. I'm excited. So, and that also means too that the other brands are probably working on something. This has just been BenQ. So Asus and LG and, you know, Dell are probably all working on something as well. So we can look forward to seeing what they bring to the table.
We will see.
Yeah. All right. So on to some other news. This is a little bit more technical, but it's still very exciting. So this company, it's called Next, or N3XT. They are working on some technology to allow processors. If you look at a lot of motherboards and PCBs, they're one layer. But this technology, what they're able to do is stack things kind of like in the style of a skyscraper, and have those you know, nano soldered together. And that probably is the wrong terminology, but the point is they're able to fit more processing power onto a smaller space. So this is very exciting, and, you know, the way that our computers will function in the future, they'll probably be able to get more processing power in a smaller form factor. What do y'all think about it?
I mean, they're already doing that in a lot of the with memory modules. You see a lot of the new SSDs are 3D SSDs, where they're boasting that they're able to stack memory chips on top of each other. I mean, that's the way of the future. And this is just, you know, another company looking at it for, you know, your CPU processors. I mean, it's the same technology there.
I'm just happy that it's come to that, because I think that, and maybe even graphics chips will soon get this type of processing, you know, 3D stacking, kind of like the SSDs have done. So it's just really good that it's moving to other components. Very exciting. But yeah.
Yeah, the technology is only going to get smaller and smaller. It's like, it's gotten crazy over the last 5 years.
Yeah, and I think too, when we hit that,
technology's really ramped up.
Right, that 14 nanometer, because I think, we're getting to the size of atoms here in terms of, how we're able to put things into a space. So, we've put it down in a 2D plane as close as we can together, so the only way to go is up now. So, I think this is a good step, man. Look forward to seeing what people do with this type of technology, and then by people I mean corporations who make the components. So go engineers.
I want to see some real competition. Let's get someone to outdo Intel and AMD. I want to
that would be nice to have a new processor company come out of nowhere. Wouldn't that be sweet?
I mean, there are a few in the server world. I mean, there's a few really low power, high end processors in the server world. You've got VIA or VIO, forget which one it is.
VIA chipsets.
VIA chipsets.
Yep.
Yeah,
they're one of the only other big contenders that actually do x86 processor chipsets. All the other ones are basically ARM chipsets, and that's mostly because of the licensing terms. ARM is a lot cheaper than an x86 or an x64 architecture,
and it's being more supported nowadays. So
yeah, I mean you have all of these web-based OSs and Linux distros. Most of the time will support an ARM distribution rather than
Raspberry Pi.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
And it's very, very cheap compared to what it was.
The Pi is a great example. I mean, that's an ARM chipset that has a ridiculous amount of push behind it. And I mean, the newer ones can even almost substitute a desktop Linux machine. I mean, got one here on my desk. I love the thing. I
Can't reach mine.
Haven't found a good use for it yet.
And there are tons of uses. Everybody should. This is our time that Critgamer says, go get a Pi. It doesn't matter which one you get. The cheapest one or the most expensive. Just get one. They're totally worth it. But yeah,
I love my Raspberry Pi.
Maybe we'll get 3D LAN or 3D NAND technology on a Raspberry Pi later on.
That would
be interesting.
I've always said my only desire for a Pi is a gigabit NIC and some faster storage.
Yep.
You and your cups.
Other than that, I mean, it's
you and your cup servers.
I mean, I wouldn't need that for the cup server, but I mean,
of course you would.
I could replace if I could get one with a gigabit NIC. It could be a makeshift file server I could use for backups in my house, or even putting I mean, I could take it and put it at your house and back up across the net. There'd be almost no energy footprint for me putting a box at your house.
And it fits in your pocket if you have a really big pocket.
Yes, you could steal it.
You could, yeah. It's portable, which is, I mean, taking a HP ProLiant microserver, which they're heavy for how small they are. It's not portable, really.
About 20 pounds, 15, 20 pounds.
But a Raspberry Pi with a USB 3 hard drive on it, just for some basic, backups, that's really cheap.
Well, I mean, we're getting way off topic, but I mean, I've even seen they make a hat for the Raspberry Pi that actually connects to the top that will take a 2.5-inch hard drive and has all the connectors. It runs power off the Pi and everything. So you can just connect a 2.5-inch drive on top.
Hey, this is
you guys are really making me want to just buy one. I know that the Pi Zero is out, but
you are going to the place tomorrow where they sell them.
Yeah.
So
if you can get a Pi, you should grab a Pi 2.
Yeah.
I mean,
get a Pi 2.
The power it has Ethernet. It has everything you need. HDMI out.
4 USB ports, audio. And
runs off micro SD card.
Yeah.
I can just use that as my LAN PC. Connect an eGPU to it, and we're good to
we'll
go.
all play Minecraft Pi. It'll be great.
Oh my gosh.
It'll probably play OpenTTD.
Oh my gosh. Hey, it will. I used to play it on. Hey, no. Okay, way off topic, but OpenTTD, way before it was an open source project.
So tell people what OpenTTD is.
Okay,
yes.
OpenTTD is Transport Tycoon Deluxe, open source version, but TTD is Transport Tycoon, or TT is just Transport Tycoon. But it's It's an old 2D based game by Chris Sawyer, the guy that makes Roller Coaster Tycoon.
It's now in the news.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it was a huge game back then for me. I started playing it when I was 4 and 5 years old on my little Windows PC. I actually still have the DOS or the floppy disks that it came on. I mean, it was that tiny, and the music was MIDI, and you'd have to pick your right sound card and do it all that way.
Okay, really basic explanation of this.
But the game has become so much more than what it used to be.
Roller Coaster Tycoon for smart people. That is what this game is.
The learning curve is ridiculous. I mean, if you have never played it before, it is insane. You look at it and you're like, what the heck do I start with first? I tried to get Hunter to play it one time, and oh my gosh, he was just like, dang man, this is retarded. This is so complicated. But
y'all need to come to our lands to experience Hunter, because this is pretty much exactly how he sounds.
This is a training session built for the complex mind. It's insane. It really is. So anyway,
there's no ARM,
done.
There's no ARM.
Speaking of having control issues, like Kelby does.
What? Hush your mouth.
Let's talk about the Xbox wireless adapter finally getting Windows 7 and 8 support.
I'm surprised that it took this long.
Was this Microsoft's way of saying, of course Windows 10's better. You should install it now so that you can have support for your wireless adapter?
I think what they were doing is they were banking on Windows 10 adoption to be higher than it is. I mean, it's been high. Don't be getting me wrong. Windows 10 adoption has been great, but I think they were banking on it being a lot higher, and that's why they kind of waited on the Windows 7 and 8 support. I mean, you've got people that are, fighting tooth and nail. I follow a couple things on Reddit where people are just complaining that Microsoft is forcing them to go to Windows 10. I mean, I don't understand there's a lot of bad publicity around it because a lot of people are doing in-place upgrades, which historically is horrible for Windows.
Yeah, that doesn't need to happen.
And the fact that they most people do it that way, it's given Windows 10 a really bad name. But I've installed it on when I work on friends' computers. If I have to reinstall Windows, they get Windows 10 without a choice. Because it's a clean install. I'm going to give them an upgrade already. I mean, it doesn't cost me anything, and it's quicker to install Windows 10 than 7 or 8.
Oh yeah, updates, man. That'd be my only reason to do that. Updates. You don't have to wait 10 hours.
Not even updates. It's not even updates. It downloads all the drivers. I have had the only driver I have ever had to install on Windows 10 is an updated version of my graphics card drivers. Other than that, Windows has been great about giving drivers out.
So you know why the Windows updates are faster? Because it's peer-to-peer now. Windows updates are peer-to-peer between different clients. I just found that out about 2 weeks ago when I did an install, and I saw the checkbox that said, do you want your Windows updates to be peer-to-peer? And like, oh, okay, so that's why they take 10 minutes to 10 hours.
They've got a ridiculous speed on there. I mean, it makes sense. Why should they have to have their own data center? I mean, they still have one, but they're not eating all their bandwidth when you can distribute the content closer to people and across multiple people. But then, that goes into a topic we'll run into later of data caps.
Yep.
They were using people's bandwidth that they're now being charged data caps on. I mean, it's kind of shady if you think about it. It kind of goes both ways.
Mm-hmm.
It's good, and then it's also really bad.
That's why we don't need data caps, so that Microsoft can do this without hitting the consumers. Because this would be a great idea if data caps weren't a thing.
We'll let Kelby talk about this later.
Later. Anyways, the whole point of that conversation, I know we're ranting this evening, so just hang in there with us. We promise we're We promise we're going to talk about the stuff that's on the screen. So if you're using Windows 7 or 8, you can now go to your local GameStop and pay the $31.82. That's with Texas tax. Go get your wireless dongle for your Microsoft Xbox One controller to work with your PC. It works now. It's not giant news, but it's just something that y'all might need to know.
Well, let me ask you this: Do you think that the reason that they've decided to put this out is for the other platforms is because of Steam's Steam Link controller?
Yeah,
I mean, it's got a
they're a
ridiculous amount of
competitor now.
good press.
Well, and it's pushing
really
the Windows
good
10
press.
platform. Well, initially it was, but now this is trying to push Microsoft products to people who are wanting the functionality of a Steam controller. But, you know, I think it's also too people who have Xbox One in their house, and now that, you know, Windows 10 has the game string function, and they want to try to integrate PC more with their consoles so that they could probably get maybe some people who are hardbound PC to say, you know what, I could probably use an Xbox One because I liked Halo. I mean, you know, 360 was my first, you know, actually I take that back. Xbox, I had an Xbox, and I had Halo and Halo 2, had Halo 3 with Xbox 360, had Halo 4 with the console, and then after that, PC Master Race. But, you know, I was a big Halo fan, and at a time, you know, this is becoming more and more appealing to me because I play on my computer now. So if I had an Xbox One that sat in the living room and, you know, I could just go, okay, I plan to play an Xbox game now on my PC, you know. Or you could just put it on a computer and skip the Xbox, but that doesn't make money like the
But
Xbox
you got to think
does.
before this, you know, Microsoft had no reason to push the PC platform. You know, yeah, it's their platform, but pretty much as a whole, the only controllers that really worked with the PC natively was an Xbox controller, really.
Yeah.
There wasn't much else out there. I mean, everything is made to work with an Xbox. I mean,
The
it's
most
got
used
what is it?
controller, I think, for the PC platform is an Xbox 360 controller that's wired.
Yeah, and that is a huge use. And there's nothing out. Yeah, Logitech puts out a couple controllers that are okay.
Who
You know, they
goes
have
in
their-
other than your people who don't know what they're getting into? I need a controller. Well, let me go get you this Logitech Game Rumble Pad 70.
I think that I think the biggest thing though, and I remember this back in 2007, 2008, 2009, the Games for Windows Live brand just really got popular, but then it died out. I mean, they didn't support it.
Really support it.
The platform just died, and I think that they really could have done something great with that and made it a just kind of. I know that there's a defining difference between console gamers and PC gamers, but they didn't really, I guess, promote PC gaming as an alternative to console gaming. So
you know, when they originally came out with it too, though, it was going to be a universal platform. You were going to be able to play games on your Xbox and then transition and play the same game, same save file on your PC. And they were even talking at the time, you know, saying, you know, playing games on your phone and having the same status, you know, doing things on your phone. They were before the smartphone time. You know, this was like, what was it, early Xbox 360. They were saying, you know, it's going to be cross-platform. You're going to be playing, you know, you've got Need for Speed on your computer. You'll be able to play it on your Xbox. Then you'll take it on the bus with you, and you'll be able to, you know, do things.
Your
to
Microsoft Vita.
yeah,
I mean, they really pushed that there
For a minute. A whole minute.
They talked about it, and then nothing ever came of it. It was almost like they were too early. You know, if they'd have pulled that out, you know, at the beginning of the Xbox One and came out with, you know, universal platform and if, you know, obviously if there had been no Steam, you know, they'd have really had a fighting chance, but they just lost that battle to Steam.
Yeah.
Steam was just a much, you know, we take it for granted, but I mean, it is the only way to get games on a PC pretty much. Yeah, you can get Origin or you can buy them from, what is that, GOG.
And good old games.
Yeah, Origin is not a contender in this battle. Oh gosh.
If you want DRM free and you want to totally have complete control over your games, Good Old Games is a great way to get them. But I feel that Steam puts everything together in a cohesive fashion. I mean, you have your friends, you have the Steam overlay, which has a built-in browser if you want to do quick looking while you're playing the game. You have access to all of your library in a readily available way to view it. That's what Steam got right. Steam got right putting the content where you want it and the best way to bring it to you and integrate it with your computer.
Well, what they did was they gave it a console experience on the PC. As much as we try to, people say PC Master Race is so much better, but it really is everything that the consoles do right. Friends lists, easy invites, being able to get in touch with your friends, voice chat. I mean, the things that we take for granted, that is what Steam does right that no other platform on the PC does.
Because back in the old days of playing games, it was, okay, everybody go to the website and get the EXE to start it. Okay, once you do that, everybody has to do this. Okay, now we've got to set up to where we can all play together, multiplayer. Okay, now we got to download this in order to chat with each other. Now we got to download this to do that. And so it brought it, like you were saying, it brought everything together, like the console experience does. So, oh, I like Skype. No, I like Trillion. Oh, let's use this. Oh, okay. Like, there's Steam chat.
I miss Trillion.
Mumble.
Yeah.
Hey, we still use Trillion.
Gosh.
I love Trillion. Oh my gosh. Anyway, continue.
Anyways,
another rant here.
No, it's perfectly fine. Just this is tech news, and this is what we're bringing to you. So if you got an Xbox,
I'm gonna eat my goldfish while you do that.
Well, thank you.
I was like, he's opening a bag of chips.
So if you got an Xbox One controller, or if you're interested in an Xbox One controller, it's going to cost you upwards of $90 to get this working with your PC. The Steam controller is out there. You can get a wireless 360 dongle and get it for around $50 to $60. You have more choice now of what you want to use. Or if you got Bluetooth, you can go ahead and get a PS4 with a DS4 application for you. So anyways, so we'll move on from that because we've been on that for a little while. So have y'all heard about the Skylake chips? How we have a little Bendgate scandal with the Skylake chips. Apparently, there has been issues to where a bigger cooler, whenever it sits on top of the processor, is actually bending the processor die, like the PCB, and bending it. Well, MSI has started to release, something to help combat that a little bit, and it is a guard that kind of hangs out on top of your processor so that that bending doesn't happen. What do y'all think about a motherboard company compensating for a Intel problem? What do y'all think about that?
Well, my question is this an Intel problem? I mean, is it their fault? I mean, the problem is with aftermarket coolers that are too heavy.
But they've worked on other chips with no problems from Intel. So
yeah, but they're technically not supported.
We have documentation for that?
I'm pretty sure.
Can you back that up?
I'm pretty sure that your warranty is not. They can void your warranty for using an aftermarket cooler. I think it's recommended that you use their stock cooler because it's also not the only time you need a non-stock cooler is if you're overclocking, which is also not recommended by Intel.
Well, that's why they make overclocking chips. They make chips specifically for overclocking.
No, they make chips that can be overclocked. They are unlocked and they will allow you to, but it is not within the warranty of the product to overclock it. So it's kind of a
do you think this is Intel's way of fighting back those third-party coolers and say, well, y'all are making so much money, we don't like it, so we're going to make our PCBs like really fancy?
I think the problem here is the third parties. They have poorly made they've made too heavy CPU, and they have not, they're not compensating. They should be making lighter PCBs. I mean, it's not that outrageous to say, okay, that this PCB is too heavy. You need to go down to a lighter PCB. There should be specs on that.
Yeah.
They should test them out. I mean, is this the CPU maker's problem? I don't think so. I think it falls more on the users than anything else. They're putting, heavy coolers on there without knowing if that cooler is supported. I could almost put money on it that most of those coolers that are causing problems are not recommended for this Skylake processor. It's a new processor. It was not made within their spec. Yeah, it fits, but that doesn't mean that it's the proper one to use.
So that brings up a good point. So I'm going to look into the camera and say this to everybody. Do your research. Do your research. This is what this means. If something has said that it's bending with a cooler, you need to look it up first before you slap it into your machine and assume that it works great. So research is very important.
One of the comments below was that this is kind of a small issue, and it's being treated as a marketable item from MSI. I can kind of see that being the case. It's a small group of people that are having this issue, so
to make users feel better, MSI's like, we'll just put some metal around the processor, and everybody will think that our boards, help that issue.
Yeah, help prevent the bending.
Yeah, it is. It's a great selling point. I mean, hey, we're protecting your CPU. Here's, a 10-cent piece of metal, and we get another $150 sale.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes perfect business sense for them.
So all good things. So this is why we have our roundtable discussion about these things, because there are tons of points that not one person could really see, and a round 3-person table plus some comments will help kind of make a clearer picture for you. So don't put super heavy coolers on your Skylake processors, and don't pay a bunch more for something that is quotable and protectable like this, because it's not really going to be worth the extra money. But if they just do this without adding any extra, charge to the user, then totally fine.
Yep.
So we'll get into some more technology and some software news. So Netflix is re-encoding their catalog in the coming year. So what this means is they're taking their catalog that they have and making it smaller, so that whenever it streams to the user, they're not using as much bandwidth. This is really exciting.
It's not so much that they're making it smaller; they're optimizing it. Because I read an article. It's not the one that we have up here, but I read an article a couple of days ago when this first broke, that they were talking about the quality difference between the encodings that they're doing is not going to make a difference. They're optimizing. I think one of the examples was like My Little Pony. So they said, there's a difference between the clarity and the bit rate that you need in a children's show like My Little Pony, as opposed to a show like Orange is the New Black, where it's live actors and it's action. I don't know if it's action. I've never seen the show, to be honest, but
I heard it's
live
good.
Actors.
So yeah,
what the end user requires is different. So
yeah, the people that are, it's not even the end user. It's what the bit rate that the video requires. They said they were able to drop it by 40% on a show like My Little Pony, and there was zero noticeable difference. And you like that My Little Pony, don't you? I saw your face.
I'm looking at all the bronies out there. I'm like, y'all know who y'all are, grabbing about y'all's quality.
But if you look on the article they have there, they have right above the Netflix thing, they have a more in-depth thing from the Netflix article, and they actually show some sample results of.
Do you mean
a cartoon
these sample results?
No, it's a little further down.
Do you mean these sample results? Do you mean these sample results?
It's a horse. Look for the horse.
Do you mean there's their thing?
But they talk about the sample difference between the two. That's the difference in their encoding, where the top one is their original encode and the bottom one is their new, more efficient encode. And I don't know if y'all can see in the stream, but if you're looking at it,
does look better
on your.
We're gonna put this link in the YouTube backup in the off live version of this, so y'all will be able to go and click it and look for yourself.
But you look at the quality difference there. and it is actually surprisingly better quality. They were able to. It looks like they went to from 480p encode to a 1080p encode, and lowered the resolution between the two, lowered the bandwidth between the two, just in their re-encode. So it's not so much about saving space. Even they're doing this to do better quality across the board, and it's just they're really. It's a great marketing thing for Netflix right now, because the current hot topic everywhere is data caps. Data caps. I'm using up all my bandwidth. And
well,
I think,
you know what?
I read.
I'm really surprised that they don't go to a WebM platform. I mean, this still runs off Silverlight. So
I don't think so anymore.
No, not anymore.
I think they dropped Silverlight.
When did they do that?
A while back. You don't need Silverlight.
I mean,
anymore,
it recently, but yes, I believe they also did drop Silverlight support. So yes, your wish has been granted. Good job.
But a lot of it too is it's a great marketing scheme for them right now, because, like I said, the hot topics right now are data caps. I'm using up all my bandwidth, and I read somewhere that Netflix is somewhere between 20 and 30% of the bandwidth right now on the internet. And so if they're that substantial of the bandwidth, they're one of the big offenders against bandwidth caps. It's them that are causing the bandwidth caps. And so they're able to say, "Oh, I know there's bandwidth caps and we're a big problem of, but hey, we're helping something the cable providers aren't doing. We're not greedy like them."
I know, and they've already tried to help once, and the cable companies got publicly shamed because Netflix was like, here's some boxes that will help the process of Netflix not traveling across your line. No, we don't want that. We just want money.
Yeah, inter-network peering. They do that. Netflix has been known to do that, putting boxes on the network, trying to help the ISPs reduce bandwidth. I mean, I don't understand why. I mean, that makes a perfect argument for Netflix to be able to say, "Look, we're caching. Our data shouldn't go against your bandwidth caps."
Can Netflix just become an ISP? I think that would benefit everybody.
Google's doing that.
No, okay, so
sorry, Google for ISP and Netflix for all of my television needs. Monopoly.
Okay, so Taylor, here, let me link you this. This is it's browser dependent. Most users still run off Silverlight plugins off of the. So, but HTML5 browsers that support premium video extensions.
Where are you linking this?
Here,
are you linking it in our Discord channel, which all of our users now can sign up and be a part of today?
There.
Just by going to critgamer.com and clicking the Discord add server button? Is that where you're putting it?
Yes.
This is not a plug for Discord.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Critgamer.com. Your dreams become ours.
We're not Comcast.
Your dreams
no.
ours.
I will open this in Chrome. Always use this app. Thanks.
Give us your hopes and dreams.
Ooh, cable company.
Cable company. Okay, HTML5 instead of Silverlight. So it's moving. It's not all Silverlight.
Yeah, it's a half and half migration. So supported browsers.
So pretty much what this means is if you're using Firefox or Chrome, you're not using Silverlight. But if you're using Internet Explorer, you're using
that's
Silverlight.
like 95% of the user base.
Well, older versions of Chrome, older versions of Firefox, older versions of Safari.
There's no such thing as an older version of Chrome. Come on.
Yeah, Chrome and Firefox are pretty good about upgrading themselves.
Yeah, they are. But I'm talking about people that sit there and use older machines.
Oh, the people who use Chrome without internet? Those people?
Oh my gosh! All right, let's
I need to look at my HTMs from my desktop.
My HTMs.
Well, the whole thing comes from the Nappy plugin support being dropped. That was the big thing. When we had it dropped for, was it Java that was the big problem?
Yeah, Java is always the problem. Java's always the
That's
problem.
when they had to move away from it. Is when Chrome and Firefox dropped the nappy support. They were that was a huge thing because there's a lot of add-ons that broke when that happened.
Yeah.
And Silverlight, I believe, was one of those that required the nappy support.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. But anyways, bleh. So who's ready for some deals?
Steam summer sale. Too bad it's Christmas and I gotta buy people presents besides myself.
Oh my gosh. You don't know how
Thank
many
God for
items I
Amazon
could tell you
Prime.
that I want for Christmas, but when it comes to other people and shopping, I'm like, what do you want? Where do I get it?
So, Kelby, what are you getting me for Christmas?
Yeah, Kelby, what are you getting us for Christmas?
A big old hug.
That's
Hey, that'll be a
depressing.
first. Hey, we're
But
family.
yeah,
We get hugs.
So rumors about the Steam Winter Sale have kind of rolled through, and they're saying it's going to be the 22nd through the 4th. That kind of sounds about the right time. That's about right.
It does. I thought it was opening today. That's what I know. Historically, they open on
A Sunday
a
evening,
Thursday.
I thought. Or is it Thursday?
Thursday, generally.
Thursday.
Yes. So I was really expecting to see it today come out, but
Taylor, go ahead and post that link after we get done with this.
Oh, it's already up.
That's a okay. That's a
I thought it was
sales tracker.
something else, which I can easily type what I was thinking of. It's that time again.
Welcome to Team Fortress 2. Please let me know what you think. I can be reached at gayben at valvesoftware.com.
Oh,
Gayben.
This is totally new. I just figured that
At
it would be the same from
valvesoftware.com.
last year, so I guess I'm pleasantly surprised it's not.
Gayben at valvesoftware.com.
He is a pirate.
Gayben.
Anyways. I had to do gaben.tv. If you ever get bored and you're just gaben.tv, you'll be pleasantly surprised. So what is this? It's Steam db.info/sales?
it tracks all of the upcoming, not upcoming, but it tracks histories of deals and what things are going on right now.
So this is
And
a
you can
Steam sport, or you already put it on there. You're so smart.
Yeah, this is
It's whatever.
This is a
forecast.
third-party website, but it pulls the information from the Steam databases. So this it works pretty well, and it can track
Man.
things and give you information, and it's pretty nice.
Oh man,
So-
Bully's only
That's-
349 or 374. Bully's fun. I should go get that.
pretty cool. So, talking on Steam, have y'all seen that? This kind of completely off, but I sent you the link in Discord. But have y'all seen that game? Who's Your Daddy?
Who's
No,
that?
I just clicked the link that you sent.
I'm clicking the link.
I'm surprised y'all haven't. So we're gonna have to try this in a little bit. So it's a game where someone's the dad and then someone is the baby, and the baby is trying to kill himself. And the parent
What?
is trying not to let them die. And it goes everything from the baby picking up a fork and sticking it into a socket and crawling into the oven, eating pills. I mean, see in the video, he's
Okay.
trying to stick it in the door slot. Yeah, see.
Oh no, the baby's gonna
What
throw
the
itself
heck?
in the oven.
And so you as the parent are trying to stop him from getting in the oven.
It's
Okay,
ridiculous.
this might be a game we have to put on the projector at the LAN. Hopefully it's split screen multiplayer.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's currently been greenlit by the community. The alpha is available to play.
Oh my gosh. I'm just gonna hang out in this oven over here.
Oh my gosh.
This looks like Goat Simulator devs put this together. They're like, What can we do with other than goats? How about people killing themselves rather than goats?
But yeah,
This is
something that we
hilarious.
stumbled across the other day. I'm
funny.
definitely excited to see the actual game out.
We'll go ahead and link that too for you in the YouTube backlog.
Sorry if that was completely off.
No, it's
the wall.
hilarious.
Yeah,
This
that was way
this
off
is
topic,
totally
but it's
okay.
hilarious.
It came to mind when we were talking about Steam, and I was like,
Oh,
this game-
Steam. When I think of Steam, I think of babies trying to kill themselves.
yes, that is exactly it. You've got it.
Oh my gosh. So anyways, we'll put the Steam tracker link, and we'll also put baby tries to kill himself and dad saves him game. Y'all can go look at that, and we'll probably be playing that for a little bit. That'll be hilarious. Our next thing is we're going to talk about is that big old corporation that's the shape of a fruit. And yeah, Apple.
Banana Corp.
Banana Corp.
Banana Corp.
Orange, you glad I didn't name my company Banana. That one
Oh
as
my
well.
gosh.
That was the worst joke ever. I apologize. I'm going off the stream now for that one. No, but
Can't
yeah.
help.
So this seems kind of like a rumor. I think CNET's just trying to pull some views or something. But it says it's like will likely update their current gear, but don't hold your breath for a car. So, what would you think if Apple didn't come out with a phone next year? They just added accessories and updates and things like that.
Well, see, I guess my question is are they really going to leave it alone, or will it be another minute upgrade? Will we get another S like we have been getting?
6SS?
I mean, well, I mean, they'll name it something else, but it won't be anything. I mean, to be honest, they didn't do a whole lot with the 6S. They added a new vibrating motor.
Well, don't you think
A screen that can tell the difference when how hard you press down. That was software upgrades. They didn't do a whole lot there.
Well, what about the claim that they're going to make it so small that they're not going to have a headphone jack on it? Do you think they're going to go through with that?
See, I think that is a huge mistake. I understand Apple has done some things in the past that has just really pissed me off as far as removing
Here we go.
external I/O. Oh, don't even start.
Apple fanboy here. Tell us how much you hate Apple.
The one person who has an Apple is the one who complains about it the most.
Okay, so, well, I do because I bought into the ecosystem and I have the technology.
It should work perfect.
So I still have for work. I still have a 2011 MacBook Pro because I don't want a Retina MacBook Pro because it has no peripheral connection ability.
But it's got USB-C and a headphone jack.
I still occasionally use CDs. I know you can get a USB disc for that, but I don't want to have to do that during presentations.
But
I don't.
So you talk about the CD drive, taking that away, but that's not something exclusive that Apple's doing.
No,
especially not to the iPhone.
That was just one of the things that has been done. I'm gonna go down the list here, okay?
Well,
So
we're talking about iPhones,
okay?
and we got to optical disc drives.
Listen.
I'm just playing the devil's advocate here because every laptop provider, it's actually hard to find a laptop now with a CD drive because everything's going so thin, so small. They've just taken that out. And I mean, when do you? I mean, to be honest, we are IT professionals, so occasionally we still do need CDs. But how often does the typical user need a CD drive? When was the last time you bought a CD on a music CD or bought a piece of software that had a CD? I mean, you really don't anymore. You don't see a whole lot of software that's sold that way.
I understand things are going USB, but let me just go down. Let me finish my rant here for a minute because I'm the one
is it about iPhones or is
I'm
this
the
Apple
one that has
rant? Out
of this group has bought into the ecosystem and bought almost every phone that they've released. So, okay, the 30-pin. Let's go back to phones then. I will not rant on laptops. Oh my gosh, you guys are literally the worst. Okay, so the 30-pin dock connector to Lightning. Okay, I
Dirty.
think that was one of the dumbest moves that they have possibly done. That is not a standard that anybody else uses. It was not USB 3. It is an awful format. The freaking connector, I understand it's reversible, but work with another vendor that's going to make it more mainstream.
You say 30 pin and then we're jumping to the lightning connector?
No, the 30 pin. The 30 pin to
look.
The 30 pin to the lightning connector. Oh, it's got a hair on it.
When they made
30
that
pin
switch.
to the lightning connector. Okay,
But that's
So
Apple
why does it look
USB-C.
no,
But not.
It's not. It's not USB-C. It's a totally different connector.
Well, they copied Apple. They did.
So how long do you think till Apple adapts USB-C? Because I mean that's the next logical move. I mean they're going to go.
You would think their MacBooks. Their MacBooks
Yeah.
now, the 12-inch MacBook uses USB-C as a charging port and a peripheral port.
You think the next iPhone would debut it?
If the next iPhone comes out with a USB-C connector that requires you to buy a dongle for an auxiliary port, I am going to go insane. I am literally going to go insane because it's
Why?
I mean,
why you use Bluetooth headphones? I mean,
no, I do not. In my car, I don't use Bluetooth. I don't have a Bluetooth connection in my car.
Well,
Get
When I get
you
home, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
doesn't have Bluetooth.
He's
Wow.
so in the past. Oh my gosh.
I'm just going to stop ranting here because it's just not going to get anywhere. But the point is that Apple has done some stupid peripheral changes on almost every one of their boxes. And I understand the intent to move away from it.
Thanks,
But
Jonathan
I don't agree. I don't agree with some, and if you'll be,
I agree with you. I mean, they shouldn't take the headphone jack off. I think that would be. I think it would be
Whoa,
stupid.
language.
Okay, Captain America.
I have to catch him. That's my job. To catch the inappropriate comments in our stream. Even though we are flagged for mature content. So
I missed what was the inappropriate content.
you
I
you like it, never mind. We'll make you go watch the YouTube so we can get more views.
I may have to. But I mean, I don't think it would be a good move for Apple. I agree with you. They shouldn't drop the headphone jack because they're not going to gain a whole lot of space dropping the headphone jack. I mean, it's such a small amount. I can't see that that's justified. They're going to have to be wide enough to fit a USB-C. They got to be able to put a battery in there. Why not leave room for a headphone jack? I mean that.
Because it's not in the design. It's not a part of the design, Andrew.
Yeah, I think this is just. I think honestly, this particular article is to just garner views, like you said. I know that
it's too early to have any real information.
This was just my way of getting us to talk about Apple and putting a.
But maybe the rumor is that they'll actually skip a product refresh this year, and then next year the profits will be even larger because you'll have an even larger upgrade base. Because you have people that go in and upgrade their phones every year now on an installment plan. They're allowed to do that as soon as the new phone comes out. They're allowed to get it every single year. But I mean, is that really something that they have the resources to do that? But then again, is that a lost revenue or is that a gain revenue in the long term? So,
do you think this will be another? Because they've done this once where they pushed back their release because.
Yes, the iPhone 5 was a pushback release.
Was
it went from July to October. I remember when that happened.
So they've done that once. Could this be that it was originally rumored that it wasn't going to be until the new year. They were going to go with like a January release.
Mm-hmm.
And they missed
18 months release instead of a 12-month release.
Yeah. So do you think they would do that again and maybe push it to like a January release around CES?
I think that would be appropriate.
But I think the problem there though is if they skip it, if they skip an October release, then they're missing out on Christmas sales, which are, for any company, that's a huge amount of sales. So to push it back that far and push it behind Christmas, they're not going to have a hot new product that's, a few months old for people to be wanting. I think that puts them in a bad place. You really don't want to release a consumer, oh my gosh, I have to have item
Right.
that close to the beginning of the year. So I don't know that.
Well, these are all good points to point which other way. So I mean, it's kind of up in the air. So with all the evidence that we found now, it's kind of like we don't know really is what it comes down to. Because there's lots of good reasons why they should, and there's lots of good reasons why they shouldn't, and just be watching on that, and we'll see where we go from there.
We shall.
Gotcha. But okay. So we're gonna kind of fly through some topics now. So here we go. Hyperspeed.
1, 2, 3, go, Taylor.
All right. So Kojima. We talked about this on our last stream. How Konami is being a total fart face in terms of how they deal with the people that they've let go. Sony, the smart little company, and I say little, and that's not little, picked him up, partnership.
Boys.
Yeah. So my first initial thought was smart move on you, Sony. You know what you're doing. So I've kind of turned from a Microsoft console fanboy that I was in my younger days to really enjoying what Sony's been doing with their console users and how they're putting content out. So
I just wish they would support their mobile games better, their mobile systems.
Yeah. So, anyways,
makes me sad that they just
the view of this is that Kojima's not out of business. He's not going to disappear off the face of the planet. He's back in action more than ever, starting his own studio and giving Sony their first exclusive title, which I believe I saw on Reddit something about Metal Gear or Metal Gear Solid. They're trying to basically take it. In my eyes,
Metal Gear Solid. Did you just have a stroke?
No, it's like it was like the play on Metal Gear Solid, but it's not Metal Gear Solid, but it is. And it was just basically a story about Snake, but it's not Snake. It's like Cobra. They had knocked off all the names to be something slightly different. So I think Kojima went and saw what was it? Escape from New York, and basically created Snake, who is one of my favorite characters of all time. And I'm kind of sad that Konami owns it, because I really think it's Hideo's baby. All of that universe was pretty much his to play around in. But now that he's got this studio up and running now, and he's doing a partnership with Sony, and I know that they can actually basically borrow the rights from Metal Gear from Konami if Konami makes a buck, and then Hideo does something with it, but he's not with Konami. But anyways, I hope
maybe
to see...
he'll make a crab battle.
Right, so I hope that Hideo is able to still play in the universe that he created and put out more content for Metal Gear. And I hope that, I swear, if I see a game about Metal Gear and Hideo's name is not on it, I don't want it. Don't want it.
So how do you feel? Do you think Hideo will do good? I mean, look, we had the guy over the Mega Man series that when he split away from the company, from Capcom, he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna make good games," and then we've got Mighty Number 9. That's just kind of like.
Well, he didn't have any. He didn't have any pull behind him, really. I mean, he relied on his
Mega Man.
I mean, he didn't have pull behind him in terms of when he left the company. There wasn't enough force push behind him to get developed, because he made several of these Kickstarter campaigns to help the new Castlevania series and the Mega Man, and there was a bunch of this different stuff with him that happened. So I don't think he got enough traction, and maybe it was just timing. But I know that
I don't know. The Mighty Number 9 has a ridiculous amount of following, and they still haven't delivered it, and it was supposed to be delivered in, I think the release was originally March, and then it was February, and then it was July. Or it was originally March, and then it was May, and then it was July, and then it was a week before it came out in August, and now they pushed it back to February.
Well, it's too because that guy, which I don't know what his name is, but he's still his own third-party developer, whereas Sony has taken Hideo and said, we're going to be partners, and you going to make games, and you going to make us money.
But it's the same thing, except for Sony's kind of saying, hey, we're with you.
Right, it's because Konami screwed him so bad. It's all good PR, and by keeping Hideo in the good light, it's good for everybody. So I think he's going to gain traction just because Konami did so badly to him. So anyways, I'm excited about what comes next, and yes, I will be looking forward to whatever he puts out. And I can honestly probably tell you too, after this Sony exclusive lasts for a little while, that I know that Hideo enjoys the PC platform. So I think there'll be some promising content for PC and consoles alike. I'm excited about that.
Is it Keija Inafu,
That's
the Mega Man series?
that sounds like a sushi name. I really don't know. That was racist.
Their Discord.
Oh, it's sushi roll.
Keijinafune. That guy.
Just looking, I see Will Ferrell. I did not see. Did not see it. That would be our admin sending stuff back and forth in Discord, and you can do that too if you join our Discord for Critgamer. Come to our general chat and throw some memes up in there, because you can do that.
Plug.
But I mean, you've got this great developer that he was with all the Mega Man games, and I don't know if you've seen the demo, but the feedback from the demo that they gave, the game is horrible. It's half-baked, it's not done, and it should have been done 6-8 months ago.
I just don't feel like Hideo's going to do the same thing. Like, I honestly don't.
But I mean, my thing is, what I'm getting at is do you think that do you really think that he'll be able to come out with as good of content as he was when he had the studio behind him?
I think so. I think
when he comes out in his own studio, is he going to be able to produce the same quality?
Well, just think about this too. Not trying to nix Mega Man or anything, but think about the story of Mega Man. Like, really, it's an old story. It's been around for a while. And compared to Hideo's storytelling with Snake and developing characters in a very deep way and being able to tell you a gripping action story that keeps you on your seat the entire game, and the gameplay is good and it's polished and everything works in a Metal Gear game, I think Hideo's got it. Like, I don't...
But like, Mega Man has never been about the story, really. I mean, yeah, you got a couple people that are big on the story, but...
Well, if we're trying to compare the Mega Man creator to Hideo, I think Hideo in his own right has it made, and he's good. I think that other guy, whoever he is, had his time, and just because he's not with a software studio doesn't mean that his games were bad because he left the studio. I think Hideo's games, he's going to have enough funding to do what he just needs to do. He knows what he's doing. He's been doing it for a long time, and I think the content's just going to keep getting better, because Hideo doesn't really release a ton of stuff like all the time. It's very long in between. I mean, Metal Gear Solid 4 to the Phantom Pain. I mean, the PlayStation 3 came out with Metal Gear Solid 4. So that will give you an idea about his main storyline, how far in between that lasted. So I'm not worried about it.
But all we want as fans of Mega Man is a Mega Man Legends game. I mean, that's all we want.
I think your inner Mega Man fan is just worried that the same thing that's happening to your franchise that you love is going to happen to my franchise that I love. But I think my franchise beats your franchise.
It's just these Asian guys trying to get money, I mean,
no, don't be racist. Okay.
Hey, you know what? You know what? I was griping and complaining about a lightning port, and here you are complaining about Mega Man. So he's gonna hit you on every single.
There's not really a difference between the petty. There's not. It's all the same. Anyways, I love Hideo. I'm glad he got picked up, and he still got a job, and he still has a passion for making stuff and not letting Konami, get him mad. Good on him. Konami sucks. Thanks, Konami.
So mad.
I don't want to even say thanks Obama anymore. I want to say thanks Konami, you jerk. So, anyways, we're just gonna touch on this. We're not gonna go crazy into it. So, if you own a drone, you're gonna have to register with a FFA starting December 21st. So,
FAA,
not FCC or FFA or any of that. No farm organization or television censorship. This is the
Future farmers of America got to know about this.
So when I was making the script, I had it as FFA. So Kelby immediately was like, he is thinking about farms with those drones.
It's the Federal Aviation Administration.
It's the Federal Farmers Association.
Not the federal aviation. So
anyway, so I don't really know the specifics about it, but there is a PDF about the registration rule. We'll have the link for the CNET article. You can go read up on how to do it. Just be safe out there. Don't be flying a drone unless it's registered. Just follow the rules. Play the game on how you're supposed to do stuff. And so, anyways, that's all I'm going to talk about. That no more discussion.
Well, I saw a funny thing on this. It's real quick. I saw someone post because I follow the multi-copters subreddits, and one of the guys posted on there was like, "I'll register my drone when you have to register your guns." And I was like, that's actually a pretty good point. They're requiring drone registration, but we don't register all. But guns.
See, this is a little bit different. I mean,
it's different. Yeah, I mean, we're aviation versus firearms.
Yeah, I mean, aviation is
much different. Yes.
Highly regulated.
Yes, Kelby, it's different.
Are you okay, I was going to go into this, but I guess you don't want me to. No.
That's all that our users need to know. We don't have we're not a drone society. We just need to let y'all know that that's happening, and the FAA is doing something about drones. So there you go.
We have some friends that are wanting to fly drones.
Some friends out there who are watching the stream right now. It's too expensive, man. Don't do it.
I want a drone so badly.
Anyways.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, we're going to fly through this. So this is Comcast rant. So Kelly, put your rant shoes back on.
Data caps.
Data caps!
Well, but before we go into that, since we've got a lot on
Comcast, just Comcast itself, yeah.
Let's take that last topic we have on Firefox.
Oh yeah, okay. Before we get into Comcast,
we'll do that for next week.
Oh no, we don't have to do it. We can do it now. We've got a little bit of time.
No, I mean, but we can talk about
Comcast full blast.
No, but we could talk about 64-bit architecture.
Do you want?
Okay, so do you want to move Comcast to next week, or do you want to do this for now?
Do y'all want to hear about Comcast there on the Twitch sphere? We can talk about it in our. Because we're not going to have one next week. We're going to have one. Well, maybe we will, but not during Christmas time. So we'll have all that figured out. So check out our Facebook. But anyways, this news, we'll get it out of the way now, is Mozilla Firefox has finally got 64-bit on Windows. Yay!
I think that's really great. You no longer have to go download, what was it, WaterFox that you had to use for 64-bit. Which was significantly faster. I don't know if you ever used WaterFox. It was a recompile of Firefox that was made specifically for the 64-bit 64-bit architect.
Yeah.
But go out, download the 64-bit if you got a 64-bit computer.
Which most of you should.
Let's bring Mr. Kelby, aka Verbatim, in on his Comcast ranting. He looks like he's pouting over there in his corner.
No, I'm. Oh my gosh!
Don't be pouty. Don't be a pouty pooter person.
I'm not pouting. I'm not pouting.
Pouty pants. Let's hear your.
The problem is that you could literally go on for hours about the ISPs.
Okay,
you've got.
We're getting 10 minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes.
No, I don't even want to talk for 10 minutes about this because it's just going to keep going. The three articles that we have here, I don't know much about the one that you did there, but if you guys,
Comcast don't care about no environment. That's what all this means. Is they're having to pay
dumping a lot of stuff. Yeah,
they don't care.
Okay,
they want that money.
So they're bad. Okay,
Comcast bad.
Article.
Next
article.
Comcast bad. Comcast bad. Yet another problem with Comcast. Data caps. And the consumers have no idea they're exceeding it because they don't know how to check their bill.
Guess what? Comcast is bad. Next article.
Comcast bad.
People can read.
Comcast
People
bad.
Know what's going on.
Comcast customers discovered huge mistake in data cap meter.
people that
We screwed
IT
up.
professionals that actually can know their data usage. They're able to see that. Oh wait, the caps aren't right. So my complaint here. This has been my argument. I think we talked about this the other day, Kelby. We were talking about the providers. I think it was when we were talking about AT&T and Suddenlink in our area. The issue that we have is that we have these ISPs that want to be treated like a utility.
Yeah, utilities, yeah.
They want to be a utility because they want to charge more for the data. They want to be able to charge people by the data, by the gig. That's what they're pushing for. They want to be able to make more money, and they think that they think that they're going to make more money, and they very well could if nothing changes. But the issue that I have with all this, if they want to be a utility, they need to be truly treated like a utility. Your meter, your water meter, your electric meter, they're regulated. There are regulators that check to make sure the numbers are correct, that they're within, they have a margin of error that they have to obtain, have to be within to be able to charge you. And you have these ISPs that want to be treated like a utility, but they're not charging us like a utility. They're not regulated like a utility, and it's like it's the old, have their cake and eat it too. They want to be able to make more money off of us and just screw the customers over.
Look right here.
But that's
what Timmy D's saying. Here you go.
Yeah, they don't want to go the whole heavily regulated route. I mean, I
don't want to be regulated, but I want you to pay me like I am.
Well, and
Comcast bad.
I told this to Kelby the other day. I said, if Comcast was allowed to go the utility route, and they were told, there's a set fee that you can charge per gigabyte. This is what the regulated fee is, the max you can charge for this, and it's based off X, Y, Z. This is laid out exactly the way it could be. Do you know what would happen? We would start getting ridiculously fast internet.
Mm-hmm.
There would be no reason for them to sell you a slow internet. If they were selling by the gigabyte, they would be trying to deliver the internet to you as fast as they could, because the more data you go through, the more money they make.
Yep.
And it would change the whole market. I honestly think going regulated like a utility would be good for the internet. It would change everything. People wouldn't like it from the start. They'd have complaints.
I think you would have to hit some kind of cap though on your pricing, because it could just get super out of control. Or as you reach different tiers on gigabytes, your amount per gigabyte goes down. So
well, if you think about realistically, if it was regulated, Comcast pays somewhere like a tenth of a penny per gig. They pay a ridiculously small amount. If they were to mark that up, say 10 times, and we were paying a penny per gig, let's see, 0.1 per gig, 1,000 gigs, a terabyte would cost $10.
Yeah.
If they were marking it up 10 times.
But then the internet service isn't profitable for them.
No, but that's the thing. That is 10 times their profit. It's not as high of a profit margin, and that will be where they'll have a problem. Is they will push and push and push to be regulated like a utility, and then they will get backed into this heavily regulated market where it's, you want to be a utility? Here's what you have to do. You can only charge a $15 a month, service fee, and then you can charge a penny per gig, or 2 cents a gig,
mm-hmm.
and that's the maximum you can charge. Instead of where it is right now, they're charging, what is it? A 50 gig block costs $10, so 10 divided by 50, we're looking at what, 50 cents a gig?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. I mean, that's a ridiculous markup when they're paying less than a penny a gig. I mean, you think about that's what, 5,000? No. Penny is, it's about 5,000 times what they're paying. That's their profit margin on that.
Only 5,000? Golly.
I mean, you think about it, it's ridiculous what they're charging, and that's that's the ideal route that I see it going. Either data caps are going to go away again, or it's going to go into this heavily regulated corner that they're going to get backed into, and we're going to see internet prices drop, and we'll pay by the gig like utility, which I would be fine with.
Or you could just get business internet and not pay for caps or data caps. Or
That's what we do.
And if they get backed in that corner, this business internet's going to go away.
Oh.
It's going to be pay by the gig again, and I mean, because they'll have to make their money. I mean, it'll happen. I mean, it's not a horrible situation. Like I said, I would be okay with a penny a gig, or even 2 cents a gig as data charges. You know, I mean that wouldn't hurt the bank if I accidentally went over.
Yeah.
You know, right now it's you accidentally go over 1 gig and it costs you $10, whereas there I go over 50 gigs and it's $1. You know, I mean that's a huge difference. But I think that's all we had to talk about today, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think we had a good talk.
We did pretty good. We talked about a lot of things.
Yeah, and we made good time. So at this time, this is where I just like to, plug ourselves even more. So we have Critgamer.com, which is our website where it has links to all of our Twitch, our Facebook, our YouTube, all that good stuff. And whoever does Instagram out there, y'all can go look at pictures if you feel like it. Anyways.
It's just selfies of Kelby.
Just selfies of Kelby.
Oh my gosh.
So
there's 4 images on there.
So go check it out.
No, they're not.
I believe we're going to try to do our streams at 8:30 now so that we can get Andrew in here. Kirk will be here for the next one. And
Maybe.
So don't worry about that. But we have lots of content to bring out every week, and we're going to try to just keep being as regular as possible in terms of at least doing a stream once a week. So we're going to keep trying on that. And if y'all like what we're doing, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to come chat with us on Discord, or you can come to our Facebook page and just come leave a comment on our page, and we're always there watching, waiting for you to comment.
Being regular.
Also, go register on our website. We are having our next LAN come up on January 8th, and it's going to be at 107 Bobby Drive in Tyler, Texas. So bring your computer, bring your game face, and we're going to have lots of new surprises there for you this time. So just be ready to come and join up the fun and, play some games. We'll all be there. We'll have pizza and snacks, and it's just going to be a great time. So if you have somebody that that would think that they'd have a good time, and come out and socialize, get that computer and dust it out and bring it out into the open where everybody can see it, Have a great time. And come play some games. Yeah. So anyways, we appreciate y'all being on the stream. I'm Taylor, that's Andrew, and that's Kelby. We're at Critgamer Tech. We'll see y'all next time.
Peace.